the Craft and Glory Engineer Boot 2.0. Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to BootTube. Welcome back to my leather lab. And in today's video, I'm extremely excited to talk both boots and some new leather products that I'm going to be putting on my site. I am beyond humbled and honored to be talking about the Craft and Glory Engineer Boot 2.0 in saddle tan wax buffalo hide. So full disclosure, the good folks at Craft and Glory did reach out to me to offer me some free boots because they saw some of my previous work where I reviewed a pair for my buddy Mark, as well as this pair right here in saddle tan waxed buffalo hide hike boots. And they quite like the BootTube community, and so they reached out to me and they offered me a free pair of boots, and I said, you know what, yes, obviously I will take your free pair of boots, but also I want to have you guys on for a podcast. And so they agreed. So within the next couple weeks, I'm going to have them on for a real boot talk. And so I'm super excited about that. And when I told them that I am particularly partial to their saddle tan wax buffalo hide leather, they concurred. Now they offer a lot of cool leathers, and I've gone over those in some of my previous videos, so I won't belabor the point today. But what I will say is I am just blown away by this leather. This is probably the coolest leather that I have ever seen coming out of India. If you were to ask me off the top of my head, like, what's your favorite leather, right? I'm probably gonna tell you something like Rambler. Coach Rambler specifically, because it puts the organic elements of the animal, such as the veining and the scarring, on full display. When you combine that with some pigments and some waxes, it really like sort of amplifies the look of the flesh, and I just love that. That's probably why Rambler is one of my favorite leathers out there from Charles F. Stead, as well as a slew of Horween leathers, as well as a slew of other leathers. This leather coming out of India is special, and I've never seen anything quite like it. First and foremost, my buddy Ashwin Rao, actually, he talked about this. He reviewed the same pair of boots. He has the same pair. He noted, and I concur. The follicle marks in it are just so granular and detailed and on full display. What I really love about it is the way that they've waxed this leather. It almost creates like a translucent effect. You could really peer into it, similar to shell Cordovan. Speaking of shell Cordovan, shameful plug for products getting released on my website in collaboration with my friend Jen at Weaver Crafted. She had some spare marbled shell left over, so what we've got here is some marbled green shell as well as some marbled garnet shell. We've got marbled green, marbled garnet. Yes, this is Horween leather, extremely rare, extremely expensive, extremely difficult to get your hands on it, so these are going to be special. I'm not running them in all cuts because of the limited supply. I do have a fair amount of garnet. I have 3 shells of the garnet. I only have 1 of the green, but as you can see, amazing specimens here and the Horween stamp back here. I'm going to be offering these in blind and in standard, and I'm going to make them to order so that I don't waste any shell. I'll make them available in the jagged as well, but typically, traditionally, when I do the shell, I punch out a bunch of standards and I do my best to get every last square inch of shell used. And so what I'm talking about here is, this is the marbled green, and as you can see, I come very close to the line without crossing it, but this here, this is going to be waste. This here, this is going to be waste, unfortunately. So, but I'm just trying to maximize the yield on these bad boys. So like I was saying though, shell Cordovan has almost like a translucent effect, especially when you shine it and when you apply some Venetian, some waxes, really get the gloss going. You can peer through the depths of it, and that's what I feel like is going on when I look at this saddle tan buffalo hide. Now they do offer this boot in 2 other colors. They offer it in raven black and vintage brown. The vintage brown is going to be a little bit more of a nubuck type color, but again, the saddle tan, I'm a fan of reddish browns, red boots. I've always loved them. These to me are just a perfectly beautifully executed engineer. I will talk more about that in a second, but I can't quit gushing over the leather. I will also admit that the leather is pretty stiff, kind of difficult to break in, similar to like a Red Wing. So after the first day, you know, because of the rough out on the inside, they're unlined, I did get a little tore up, but I just let them sit for a couple days, let my heels heal. That rhymed. And then afterwards, I was able to throw them back on. By that point, the second day, I think it was raining out, and I wore them out again. Still a little painful, but on the third wear, after wearing them in the rain, whew, they are super comfortable. And as you can see from getting them wet, they've collapsed amazingly. Like, look at the patina happening already. It's insane. Especially on this boot, you can really see like the shaft collapsing, and it's just beautiful. I love the way that they've taken on sort of a rapid patina. And then you might be asking yourself, Dale, what kind of belt are you going to pair with these boots? Well, that's an easy answer. I have probably, more shameful plugs, I have probably 5, maybe 7 or 8 more belts in this J&FJ Baker Australian nut leather. These belts were made by me, hand riveted. These are pigeon tree crafting buckles made in Japan. The hardware is extremely expensive. The wait times to get it are extremely long, but this leather does not stretch. It's very hardy, and in my opinion, the Australian nut just complements the English tan amazingly. And then I also have a bunch of black left. Also of note, Craft and Glory and I did come to an agreement. I do have an affiliate link down there. If you are gonna buy some boots from their site, you click that link, I will get a small commission. I think like 7 or 8% of the sale, I can't remember. Full transparency, you clicking that link, if you make a purchase, it helps support this channel, helps us continue to crank out quality, highly edited, highly obsessed about the details related content for BootTube, a video streaming service strictly dedicated to boot tubing and boot related content. All that other crap you see on BootTube needs to be taken down. BootTube was created just for boot content creators. All right, so nothing else. All right, so this is the Engineer Boot 2.0 in saddle tan. It's got a logger heel for maximum stability. It's got a veg tan insole for durability, an 11.5-inch shaft for better support. I'm not going to say it. It is rooted in the industrial revolution of the early 20th century. The engineer boot was originally designed for railroad workers who needed protective yet practical footwear. Today, the Engineer 2.0 builds on this heritage, offering a modern twist on a classic design. The stitched down construction is the defining feature of the Engineer 2.0. Designed with 100% full grain buffalo leather, this boot redefines toughness while maintaining a sleek profile. Featuring a logger heel, veg tan midsole, the Engineer 2.0 is built for maximum functionality and comfort. Its meticulous hand stitching and hand lasting ensure exceptional durability and a flawless finish. Whether you're riding, working, or exploring, the Engineer 2.0 is your dependable partner for every adventure. We've got 5-ounce waxed pull-up full grain buffalo leather upper. The insole is approximately 10 ounces, full vegetable tanned insole. The midsole is approximately 10 ounces. In this case, 7 ounces with the thick, full vegetable tanned, handmade leather welt, which these are Goodyear welted. They also offer this boot with a stitched down welt. It's got a steel shank for durability and strength, 100% natural cork footbed for added comfort. The outsole is a Ridgeway outsole in 100% solid rubber for extra traction. Now the Ridgeway is a very great sole. It's extremely grippy. I have some Vibergs on the Ridgeway. Viberg uses Ridgeway. Craft and Glory uses Ridgeway. Vibergs are $800. Craft and Glory are $264. Say no more. This is an incredible price for what you're getting. It also comes with a straight cut 3 to 4 millimeter thick vegetable tanned leather insert, no cushion, heavy duty. And yeah, these are made to order, so it looks like by the time you order they will be ready and shipped out in about 4 weeks in most cases, unless they already have a sample made. But yes, what's cool about these is you have the option. You could go for the Goodyear welt and pay the standard $264. For an extra $35, you can get stitched down welt. You can opt for a D or double E width, and for the insole, you could opt for foam with leather, or full veg tan for an extra $12. And yeah, I'm looking at the site. I'm recording on July 22nd, and it says the estimated delivery date is August 25th. So about a month, includes 25 days for handcrafting and 45 days for shipping. I mean, what they're doing over there is absolutely unreal. The company, they're super nice people. I've communicated with several of their employees over there, and they're very responsive, very eager to engage and answer questions. Really cool to see the India market catering to the heritage workwear realm. Traditionally, we're used to seeing areas like, you know, Japan, Indonesia being obsessed with like American heritage type clothing, but it's really neat to see it sort of making its way into India, a completely different culture, sort of embracing the style that we love here in America and making products at an extremely amazing and affordable price. $264 for these. I mean, the workmanship on these and what you're getting is very, very high quality, and it's something different, right? This waxed buffalo hide leather is really cool because in Indian culture, the cow is sacred, so they're not going to be using and harvesting cow skin for their products. Instead, they're using the water buffalo, and the outcome is just a completely different type of a leather profile, I would say. Far different from cow, not to mention the way that they're processing this leather is obviously different. Let's take a look at the box real quick. So we've got finest quality leather goods inspired from heritage, made for adventure and outdoors. And it came with an incredible Craft and Glory boot bag, established 2011, riding strong in 2025. For sizing, I am a US 9 Brannock. I wear an 8.5 in most US boot brands like Red Wing, Thursday Boots, Truman Boots. I wear a UK 8, so I'm an 8 in Trickers, an 8 in Crown Northampton, an 8 in, most UK sizes, I'm an 8. And what's kind of neat is Craft and Glory offers UK sizing on their website. And so my size on their website is a US 9/Euro 42. On the inside of the boot, it says that these are a UK 8 and a Euro 42. Normally on a size chart, what gives me the warm and fuzzy is I see a UK 8, US 8.5, EU 42. I've never messed up my size that way. And so if you know your UK size or your European size or your US boot size, then it should be pretty intuitive to figure out. Craft and Glory, they've never sized me wrong. I'm a pretty easy fit in these. I go with the D width. I do have a little bit of a wider foot, but this gives me absolutely no problems. The D is absolutely my size. Let's talk a little bit more about this build in particular. What I really like about the execution of this engineer is, like, the leather aside, it almost looks like something you'd see out of like a 1940s like cartoon drawing. It's almost like a boot from a kid's storybook, like extremely classic looking, truly the way that they would have been built back in the early 1900s. I'm talking from the patterning and the design. It's all very robust, but in a way sort of timeless. I really like the toe, the way that it's not super collapsed. It's structured, so it's going to hold its shape, though it is creasing here, forming some amazing patina there already. Like I said, really impressed with the patina, especially after having gotten them wet and walked around in them. I probably put 40,000 steps on these so far. The back heel stays triple stitched down, very beefy, very well structured. The instep strap is very classically designed. The buckles are really cool. I don't recognize these buckles. It looks to me like they maybe made them in-house, but I could be mistaken. They could get them from a local supplier, but these are very hardy. They're sort of designed lightweight in a way, but at the same time very robust. Like these aren't gonna fail on you. Like, this is raw, absolutely raw brass. The back heel stay, Ashwin Rao mentioned this in his review, that the back heel stay sort of harkens to the Pacific Northwest back heel stays. Yes, from what I'm seeing on these NYX swashbuckler boots, yeah, we've got one triangle, two triangles. So on the NYX swashbucklers, there's 3 triangles, and on the Craft and Glory, there's only 2. I always look at the tops of engineers because that to me shows like just how much consideration the maker put into the construction. They absolutely did the right thing by putting a pull tab up here, and they didn't use a thin strip of leather either. It's a real beefy pull tab, and it's super well supported with support stitches on the sides. It's really well stitched down and everything, so that'll help you get in and out. That'll help with the initial pass through. The initial pass through on these was kind of difficult. I did wear medium weight socks, and yeah, that first pass through, it's always hard, but then once your foot snaps into place, you've already started the relationship with the boot. It's already begun, and so getting in and out after that first pass through is already going to start to ease up a little bit. Yes, absolutely. Do you need a boot jack? Yes. Get a boot jack. It will save your back. I'm old now. I'm 40. Any little bit of added help I can get getting in and out of these boots, I appreciate. So yeah, Ridgeway sole, 360 degree Goodyear welted. I love the slope down at the top. Very elegant roll top collar at the throat. I can't ask for more at this price point. This is truly incredible what you're getting here. Let's bring into the frame some of my 8-inch Indonesian engineer boots in brown oiled Shinki horsehide. Now these I think are closer to about $500 or $600. The leather is Shinki, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get. It's sourced from Japan, made in Indonesia. Yeah, to compare the two, I mean, obviously they're different designs, different lasts. These are half the price of these. And so just to give you an idea, yes, these were bespoke, built according to my foot tracings, but these for $264, I mean, you can't beat it. If you're just getting into engineers and you want to sort of not take a huge monetary plunge risk, dropping $700 or $1,400 on a made in America or made in Japan engineer, then absolutely I would say start here. This is a great starting point. These are cheaper than Red Wings. I have one pair of Red Wings. Hundreds of pairs of boots and one pair of Red Wings. What does that say about me? Are you getting a better boot? So these were rebuilt by my buddy Pablo at Dimar Shoe Repair, and so he added the vegetable tanned midsole and the Vibram outsole. These went from like a 300 odd boot to like a $700 boot. So I don't have any original Red Wings here. I do believe these are absolutely better than Red Wing. By the way, stay tuned because the combat boot, I love this boot so much. I love this leather so much. Obviously, now that I have 3 pairs in it, super happy to have 3 pairs. Next review up is going to be the combat boot. What a trio here. Wow. Look at that. We've got a hiker, an engineer, and a combat boot. I'm ready for hiking, engineering, and combat with the simple 3-set collection. Imagine that. So anyways, in conclusion, I think it's really cool that we see different brands emerging across the globe that are getting into the heritage market. Yes, there was the novelty with the Indonesian market, amazing. But now we're seeing Blackbird and other companies. My buddy Nick at Stridewise, he went to India. He went to toured a ton of different shoe places. Just super cool content that he cranked out there. I'm really inspired by what I'm seeing here. I mean, they really pay homage to the legacy of American workwear. They put their best foot forward. They do not disappoint. It is just absolutely incredible seeing such amazing products coming out of places with completely different cultural histories and backgrounds. You know, thanks to social media, thanks to the internet, we're sort of coalescing the best of our passions, and we're seeing it emerge in very unlikely places. And so for that, I'm just blown away by what I'm seeing. So once again, link to Craft and Glory in the description below. Check them out if you're interested. I really like them. Plan to film a real boot talk with them. So super stoked for that. Stay tuned for that. I want to hear your thoughts. Give me all your thoughts on the Engineer 2.0 in saddle tan waxed buffalo hide. And with that, I'll shut it down. Thanks so much for watching. End of transmission.